My name is Amin Lakhani and I create comedy.
I know what you're thinking. What's wrong with him? How fast does his wheelchair go? And wow, that is one sexy man.
I've struggled with depression related to my physical disability. So as my function has declined, it's been hard for me to come to terms with needing more help or not being able to do as much on my own.
Last time I burned someone, I got beat up in the parking lot, ended up in a wheelchair.
So my lowest point was when I actually contemplated suicide. I never came up with a plan to do it, but I felt a sense of why should I keep living? Like, what am I really adding to the world? Comedy helped me really get out of that because it gave me an outlet to focus on, gave me something to do every week, something to look forward to, somewhere where I could feel a sense of connection.
I didn't have a lot of friends growing up, so to see you all around here reminds me that I wasn't missing all that much.
Did anybody else see the video of Amin racing Megan's baby? And they're off. Oh, but she's distracted, she's distracted. She's catching up.
She's daunting me.
Look at this lead, look at, not even close.
The baby won.
The baby won, yeah. Twice.
Whenever I'd tell people I was depressed or not feeling good or struggling with my disability, the usual reaction people have is just to try to help or to feel bad, and that was exactly what I didn't want. And in the comedy community, they don't care. Like, if you can use that to be funny, awesome, but if you can't, then come back and try again next week. It's just about being funny. No one cares, no one's trying to fix you or make you better. They just want to laugh, and that was really cool.
I actually don't want to have kids because, for practical reasons, like, what the fuck am I going to do for a newborn child? Like, I wouldn't even be able to smother it properly. I will tell you that I was born with muscular dystrophy. And that was a great shock to my parents because they had just immigrated to the United States from Pakistan, a country where people with disabilities are seen as liabilities, burdens, and unable to contribute.
Anything from getting out of bed, I use a wheelchair, obviously, doing things like getting dressed, and anything that requires fine motor skills is exceedingly challenging. Lately, things like putting on my jacket or being able to feed myself or being able to drive a car has become more challenging.
I think there's only two reasons that you should park this way. One, if you have a wheelchair ramp, or two, if you're a douchebag. Thankfully, both of those apply in this situation.
This year I also started my own open mic because I was looking for a greater sense of that community. I found a venue that was supportive and just put out the word, and people started showing up, and now I have a really cool group of friends that I see every week at open mic, and some of them I even hang out with outside of that. So I did public speaking in the past, and I really enjoyed it because I loved being on stage and I loved saying funny things. Often I would create a speech based on 4 or 5 funny things I wanted to say, and then I just started to feel a bit restricted by public speaking because all I wanted to do was tell jokes, and I wanted to tell dark jokes. Another issue I had with public speaking was that it felt like it didn't matter what I said. I could say anything and I would still be the inspirational guy in a wheelchair and people would clap for me. I gave a speech once to, I think, 700 people, and I didn't think it was that great, and people just applauded afterwards, and I was like, they're just being polite.
No, baby. I was born this way.
But with comedy, it's very different because I think people applaud for you, people cheer for you out of pity or sympathy or whatever, but it's very hard to make people laugh for those reasons. Laughing is a very visceral response, and I wanted to challenge regardless of my disability. Comedy helps me with my struggles by giving me a purpose for my struggles. So sometimes when I'm feeling really down about something, it's the only way I can get myself out of that downward spiral is to think of some sort of ridiculous, usually dark joke that comes out of that makes me feel that there's a purpose to the challenge that I'm going through. I feel like I can be my most authentic self when I'm on stage or around fellow comedians, because literally in every other aspect of my life, I can't, because I'm always thinking of dark things or overly sexual things, and I obviously filter that because I don't want to be seen as a weirdo and I need to function in society. But in the comedy context, I can let it all out. I think the biggest thing I've gotten out of comedy is, again, that sense of community, having a group of people that I can be myself around, that I can share things with that I'm going through and try to find some humor in it. That is invaluable, and that is a reason to keep living. That's a reason to keep going through all the hard stuff, because I look forward to not only open mic, but just hanging out with those people every week.
We're actually really lucky to have Amin here. His full-time job is posing for college brochures.